We're talking to Miss Judith McCoy and Miss Busbee, and of course, Miss Busbee, before we had our first commercial break, I think I promised that we'd give you as well as Miss McCoy an opportunity to talk about your background and some of the things that, in a real sense, motivated you to become involved in this mother-to-mother fund. You see, because as we indicated earlier, that there has to be some attitudes that people have toward children in order to do that, and so we'd like to elicit from you that kind of information.
Well, thank you. When I was at the Women's Union in Boston, I did mentoring programs for adults as well as children and activities for all ages, and quickly found that really my heart always seemed to lead me back to the children. So that's how I decided Mother to Mother would focus mostly on young children.
Now, this is a fund. I think, how do you explain it as a fund?
It's a foundation.
A foundation. Well,
right.
Now,
it's
what does that mean?
A foundation, it's a nonprofit. It's a 501c3. So it is run just like any other charitable organization. And
so you use the resources from this foundation in order to help the children at the hospital with these bags, these gifts.
Right.
Now, how widespread is this? I mean, are you the only person that's involved in this kind of activity, or what?
Well, it was mine when I started it, and I have programs at Children's Hospital, Hope Clinic for Women, Mercy Ministries, a lot of the social service organizations. So I have had widespread community support and.
And so you've been involved in trying to, and see, this is not an isolated program that you have here at Nashville General. Is that what we're saying? Is that what I'm hearing?
Right. I have programs all around this area. I have the whole state of Tennessee, and am gradually spreading out from Nashville.
And so you are in a situation that will allow you to touch these children and all of these, and many of these hospitals throughout the state of Tennessee.
Right.
And many of them have a chapter, I would imagine, of the mother.
That's exactly. We run programs out of a lot of the different hospitals, and at Nashville General we do the baby bag program really to open the doors for the other needs. A lot of times the mothers, the bag may help them get home and have the supplies, but the nurses will call me and say, she's taking the baby home and has nowhere for the baby to sleep, and so cribs and high chairs and car seats and.
See, I think that Mothers to Mother Foundation makes much more sense in terms of when you broaden that, and so that's what we're looking for. And of course, I think, Ms. McCoy, you mentioned Nashville General Hospital. A lot of our audience might not understand the merger that occurred between these facilities and et cetera. Talk about that so that we can then, during that last segment, talk about what is going on with our children today in these facilities.
Nashville General Hospital was formerly called Metro General, and now in the community it's still affectionately called Metro General. Well, Nashville General Hospital at Meharry actually is the new name of Metro General Hospital. And approximately 10 years ago, Nashville General and G.W. Hubbard were serving two separate audiences, North Nashville and East Nashville, people that were either underinsured or uninsured. And it was under one of the, I think it was Governor Bredesen that actually formed the partnership to combine the two hospitals, to serve Davidson County at large, and then formed the Metropolitan Nashville Hospital Authority, which now means one hospital in addition to Bordeaux long-term care and Knowles assisted living. So it's a hospital. It's a hospital authority taking care of the social and mental and physical needs of anybody that needs a little assistance, or for private paying customers like myself. Also, the reason that we have attached the name Meharry to the name is because we are physically on the campus of Meharry, and we reside in the building that was formerly called the G.W. Hubbard Hospital. And Nashville General Hospital is also a training ground for medical students who are residents for Meharry and Vanderbilt University Medical Center. So it has grown to be a thriving business, and although as the news would depict, we do have some financial issues, but with each passing year, we're growing stronger and stronger as a business.
Now, what about the growth of your Mothers to Mothers Foundation, Ms. Busbee?
As I said, I started it when we moved to Nashville 3 years ago, and it was really, you know, I had an idea that I wanted to have programs at all the hospitals and touch as many people, as many babies as I could, and it started off pretty slowly, and once I met Judith and started the baby bag program, it really took off.
Now, what would you say to people who might wish to support what you're doing and who might wish to support this foundation? I mean, how is this foundation operated?
Well, as I said, it's operated as a 501c3. Just it's a charitable
Board
organization.
Of directors and that kind
exactly.
of,
It's run just like the Red Cross or any other charity. We have, after the publicity from the baby bag program, that's most of our donations come as blankets. We have some elderly women that actually knit bonnets and blankets, and we have had wonderful donations for diapers, wipes, all the items in the baby bags.
And Dr. Haney, the first year that Janie formed her partnership with us, I think that particular year we delivered 1,200 babies, which meant she provided 1,200 gift bags. Well, this year we're expecting to have at minimum 2,000 to 3,000 deliveries at Nashville General, because we have partnered with some clinics in Nashville, such as Vine Hill and some of the other community clinics. So it's a large undertaking to keep up with the deliveries.
And that's a very, very expensive proposition after a while, because, you know, when you talk about 2,000, because I really didn't have any idea of how many children we were talking about, but I never would have thought that we were talking about 2,000 or 3,000 children.
We are.
And that's
you can see how many a day we get
that you have to deal with.
Stuffed and ready to go.
That's a real work, and I guess it's a real challenge. And of course, we're getting ready, ladies, for our first commercial break, after which we'll come back and we'll talk about some other issues that the two of you believe to be important dealing with our children. Because I think, as we tried to indicate in an earlier conversation that we had with Mayor Dean, that a real concern has to be with the children. And I think the two of you are demonstrating that. And of course, we'll be back with our audience following this very, very short commercial break. We're talking to Mr.